Hey everyone, and welcome back to Speak More Fluently. One of the biggest things I hear from all of you is how to actually get better at speaking English, like really being able to have those conversations confidently.
Absolutely.
So today, we're going to really dive into how technology can play a huge role in that.
Okay.
Because, let's be honest, things have changed a lot from how a lot of us learned, right? We're talking about a world of apps and websites and even things I can't even imagine yet, compared to just like the textbook and classroom days.
Yeah. I mean, thinking back to high school or even college language classes, it was all about being in that specific place at that specific time.
Right.
And that's totally shifted.
Totally.
Now, you can literally be anywhere doing anything and have these incredible tools to help you actually speak better English.
Yeah, and that's what I think is so exciting. It's like instead of feeling stuck with one way of learning, you have all these options to find what actually works for you in your life. So whether you've got 5 minutes or a whole hour, you can make progress.
It's about fitting it into your life, right?
Exactly.
Not the other way around.
And think about this. You're not just like memorizing verb conjugations from a dusty old textbook.
Right.
We're talking about interactive games, quizzes, apps that give you instant feedback. It's like learning becomes, dare I say, fun.
It can be. Yeah. And that's a big deal because, when something's fun, you're way more likely to stick with it.
Exactly.
And the cool thing is that a lot of these apps and programs, they use those ideas of like rewards and challenges to actually keep you motivated.
Yeah. It's like they figured out how to tap into that part of our brains that loves a little like dopamine hit when we achieve something.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about, slogging through it. It can actually feel good to learn. But it's more than just fun and games, right? These tools are getting so smart that they can really adapt to how you learn best as an individual.
Yeah, definitely. They can figure out like what your strengths and weaknesses are and then actually tailor the lessons to what you need most.
It's like having a personalized tutor in your pocket, which honestly is pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is. It's like having that extra support to help you get over those hurdles that are specific to you.
Totally. And then there's this whole other aspect that I think is so key for actually speaking well, which is exposure to real, authentic English.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Not just the textbook stuff,
Right.
but like hearing how native speakers actually talk.
Right. Like in real life.
Exactly.
Because let's be real, nobody talks like a textbook.
Right, exactly.
So you need to hear those natural rhythms, the idioms, the slang, even just like the little pauses and fillers that real people use.
And the cool thing is, with technology, you have access to all of that through videos, podcasts, news clips, all sorts of things.
Exactly. It's like having a window into how English is actually used in all sorts of situations.
And the best part is a lot of these resources are free or super affordable.
Right. Which makes it so much more accessible than like traditional language classes, which can be really expensive.
Absolutely. So we've talked about how learning has changed and why tech can be so powerful, but let's get specific. What are some actual tools that can help you level up your spoken English?
Okay, well, think about it like this.
Okay.
There are apps that are like building blocks.
Yeah.
They help you get those foundational skills down.
Gotcha.
So think vocabulary, grammar, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You've probably heard of some of these: Duolingo, Babbel, Memrise. These are great for getting a solid base through short, bite-sized lessons that you can do every day. And a lot of them use those like game-like features we were talking about to make it fun.
Yeah, I think those are really good, especially for like getting started and staying consistent.
Absolutely.
But then there's this other category of apps that I'm really interested in, the ones that are specifically focused on speaking and pronunciation.
Oh, yeah, those are getting really good.
Right. Because, what's the point of knowing all these words if you can't say them correctly?
Totally. And that's where these apps with speech recognition technology come in.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
Okay, so you've got apps like Elsa Speak and others that are similar. They actually listen to you speak.
No way.
Yeah, and then they can tell you, like, hey, you're pronouncing this vowel sound a little differently than a native speaker would, or maybe you're putting the stress on the wrong syllable, and then they give you these exercises to help you get it right.
Oh, wow.
Some even visually represent the sounds and show you how to move your mouth and tongue to get it right. It's like having a pronunciation coach in your pocket.
That is so cool. It's like taking the guesswork out of it.
Exactly.
And you know exactly what you need to work on.
Yeah, it gives you that targeted feedback, which is so valuable.
Absolutely. So we've got those foundational apps and then these pronunciation-focused ones.
Right.
What else is out there?
Well, If you're looking for something that's like, the whole package, you've got what are called comprehensive learning platforms. So think like Fluent2, Rosetta Stone, these kinds of things. They try to cover all the bases, reading, writing, listening, speaking.
Gotcha.
So it's more like a structured course, almost like having an online language school.
Oh, interesting.
They often have these personalized learning paths, so as you progress, the program adjusts to keep challenging you.
So it's kind of like they grow with you as you learn.
Exactly. They keep you moving forward.
That's cool.
But apps are just one piece of the puzzle, right?
That's for sure.
There's a ton of other stuff online that's really valuable.
Like what?
Well, for example, there are these interactive websites.
Okay.
Like one that comes to mind is BBC Learning English.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
They have tons of free lessons and activities. And what's really great is they use a lot of real-life audio and video, so you're hearing how English is actually spoken in different situations.
So it's not just like made-up textbook dialogues.
Exactly. And they also have some stuff about British culture, which is fun.
Yeah, I love that.
And then, of course, you've got the more passive, but still really important resources, like video lessons and podcasts.
Yeah, those can be great.
I mean, YouTube is a goldmine for English learning content.
It is.
There are tons of channels dedicated to teaching English.
Yeah, you can find anything on there.
And podcasts are fantastic for learning on the go, like, while you're commuting or exercising.
Makes the time fly by.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so lots of options for individual learning.
Uh-huh.
But what about actually connecting with other people? Like that seems crucial for improving spoken fluency, right?
100%.
It's one thing to practice on your own, but you got to get out there and actually use the language.
Exactly. And that's where online communities and forums come in.
Yeah.
Like, joining these groups can be a game changer for a few reasons.
How so?
Well, first of all, it can be really motivating to connect with other people who are going through the same thing. It's like having a support system.
Yeah, totally.
And then you can get feedback on your speaking and writing, which is so valuable.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
And you can even find language exchange partners.
Oh, cool.
Like people who are learning your native language and want to practice English with you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you can actually have real conversations and get that real-time practice.
It's like taking it from the screen to the real world in a way.
Exactly. Now, this is where things get really exciting.
Okay, tell me more.
We're starting to see these really immersive technologies come into play.
Oh, wow. Like what?
Virtual reality and augmented reality.
Ooh.
Have you ever tried those?
I've seen them, but I haven't actually tried them, no.
Okay, so imagine this. You put on a VR headset, and suddenly you're in a virtual English-speaking city.
That's so cool.
Right. You could practice things like ordering food at a restaurant,
Oh, wow.
or asking for directions, having a conversation with a digital character, and it feels so real.
That's incredible. And that must be really helpful for getting over that fear of like making mistakes in front of real people.
Exactly. It's like a safe space to practice those real-life situations.
And it's probably way more engaging than just sitting at a desk with a textbook.
Oh, for sure. It taps into that love of gaming that a lot of people have. So it's like you're learning without even realizing it.
That's amazing.
And then there's AI, which is becoming huge in language learning.
Yeah, AI is everywhere these days.
It really is. And in the language learning world, we're seeing things like AI-powered chatbots and virtual tutors.
Okay.
So imagine this. You have a chatbot that you can talk to 24/7.
Wow. Like anytime I want.
Anytime. And it can give you instant feedback on your grammar and vocabulary.
Oh, that would be so helpful.
Right. And some of these AI tutors are so advanced that they can actually create personalized lessons based on your specific needs.
It's like having a personal language coach that never sleeps.
Exactly. And they're always there to help you.
So we've got VR, we've got AI. What about good old social media and language exchange apps?
Oh, those are still super valuable.
Right.
I mean, they're a fantastic way to connect with native speakers from all over the world.
Yeah.
And have real conversations. Learn those colloquialisms and slang that you wouldn't necessarily pick up from a textbook.
Right, the stuff that makes you sound like a natural speaker.
Exactly. And you might even make some friends along the way.
That's awesome.
It's about connecting with people and using the language in a real, meaningful way.
So it seems like there's just this incredible wealth of tools and resources available. But with so many options, it could be a little overwhelming. Where do you even begin? Like, how do you actually integrate all this tech into your learning in a way that actually makes a difference?
Yeah, that's a great point. It's not just about having the tools. It's about using them strategically.
Right.
So the first thing is to get really clear on your goals. Like, what do you actually want to be able to do with English? Is it to give presentations at work, Travel more confidently. Make friends who speak English.
Got it.
Once you know your goals, you can choose the tools and resources that are going to be most helpful for you.
So it's all about having a plan.
Exactly. And then it's about creating a balanced learning plan. Don't just rely on one thing.
Okay.
Try to mix and match different resources.
Like what?
Well, maybe you use a vocabulary app in the morning, a pronunciation app during your lunch break, and then do some listening practice with a podcast in the evening.
Oh, that makes sense.
So you're hitting all those different skills.
Yeah, rounding it out.
Exactly.
And then, of course, there's the whole consistency thing.
Oh, yeah. Consistency is key. I mean, you've probably heard this before, but it's way better to practice a little bit every day than to try to cram it all in once a week.
Makes sense. Short bursts are better than one huge session.
Right. So even if you can only spare 15 minutes, do it.
Every little bit counts.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try different things and see what works best for you.
Okay, so we've talked about goals, balance, consistency. What about the fear factor? A lot of people, including myself, get nervous about speaking, especially when they're first starting out. How can technology help with that?
Well, technology can actually be a really safe and supportive way to practice.
Okay.
Like a lot of apps provide corrections in a very gentle way.
Yeah.
And in those online communities, you're surrounded by people who understand exactly what you're going through.
Right, they're in the same boat.
Exactly.
It's not like being in a classroom where you might feel like everyone's judging you.
Exactly. And the most important thing is to remember that mistakes are part of the process.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. It's how you learn.
So don't beat yourself up about it. Embrace those mistakes.
Exactly. See them as learning opportunities.
Okay, so before we wrap up, any other words of wisdom for those of us who want to really make the most of all this amazing technology out there?
Yeah. A few things. First, try to make your learning as enjoyable as possible.
Okay.
Like watch movies, listen to music, read simple books in English.
Yeah, those are fun ways to practice.
Exactly.
It doesn't always have to feel like studying.
Right. And don't be afraid to try out different apps and websites. There are so many options out there. So find what works best for you.
Keep experimenting. See what clicks.
Exactly.
But-
And stay curious. Keep up with what's new in the world of language learning tech.
Yeah, there are always new things coming out.
All the time. And maybe the most important thing, make an effort to connect with native speakers.
Yeah, that's huge.
Whether it's through a language exchange program or just chatting with someone online, those real conversations are invaluable.
It's where you really put it all together.
Exactly.
And finally, track your progress.
Oh, yeah, that's so important. Seeing how far you've come can be really motivating.
It's like a little pat on the back.
Right. So use those progress tracking features in apps or even just keep a little journal.
Okay, so to sum it all up, technology has completely changed the game for learning and practicing English.
It really has.
It's more accessible, it's more flexible, and it's honestly more fun than ever before.
Absolutely.
But the key is to be strategic.
Right.
Have a plan, choose the tools that work for you, and be consistent.
And don't be afraid to experiment and have fun with it.
Love it. So as you're listening to this, I want you to think about which of these tech tools you might be most interested in trying out.
Yeah, what feels like the best fit for you and your goals?
Because the possibilities are endless. You can really take your spoken English to the next level with the help of technology.
Absolutely.
Well, that's it for our deep dive today on Speak More Fluently. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.